Hello guys, so now let's define variables in Python. So how do we define variables in Python? In order for us to do that, a variable is actually a container that we use to allocate memory in the computer. So many of you who are watching this tutorial, it's not your first time about working with other programming languages, but specifically for Python, I'm going to teach you how we work with variables. So variables, let's say it's a name of a human being. I'm going to define a variable called name equals, then we can either put single quotes or double quotes. So depending on your preference. So if we use single quotes, for example, we can say Jack Temple. This is my name here. We can optionally use double quotes and say Jack Temple. Okay, what if we want to define another string variable called first name, which we are going to set to either single quotes or double quotes? So now, the thing is this. If it's one name that has two words or phrases, we separate the two or more words with an underscore. As you can see here, first underscore name. This is the conversion that is actually standard according to PEP 8 in the Python programming language. So this conversion is called a snake curse. So first name, I can say here Jack. Same applies to last name. I can say here Temple. So this is essentially the ways we can define variables. One of the ways we can define variables in Python. You can either use single here or double quotes. Okay. So now let's talk about numbers. Let's define a variable called my number. I'm going to set it to 2. I'm going to set this to a number 2 without quotes, either single or double quotes, because this is not a string, it is a number. You get my point? Yes. So there is another data type in Python called a Boolean. A Boolean is actually like yes or no in English. So in programming, it is either true or false. I can define a variable called is verified. I can either set this one to true or I can set it to false. Now look at the naming convention. True or false has the first letter as a capital letter, which is an uppercase. So in this case, if I set this to true, look at the first letter T is uppercase. So this is what we call a Boolean. There can only be two possible values of a Boolean. It is either true or false, nothing else. All right, guys. So that was just a quick introduction of how we define variables in Python.